Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments and I'm back. This is my first video recorded from the new place in Vietnam. Let me know how you like it. We'll talk a little bit more about what that process was and everything else later, but we're not going to leave you waiting. I feel like we got to kick it off with the Silver Surfer list. I think Silver Surfer is just the best deck in Marvel Snap right now. That's why we're kicking off the video with it. It is not the deck I hit Infinite with. That will as always be deck 2 in these videos. But Burrs, a top player, is crushing with Surfer. I'm not 1000% sure this is the right list, but I'm not 1000% sure there is a right list. I think there's like 5 or 6 different ways to build this deck and have extreme success in Marvel Snap currently. So this deck needs Mr. Fantastic, Galactic, Gwenpool, and Carter. I think those are now your like required Surfer cards. Some decks can go with either Galactic or Gwenpool, but a lot more are going with both, thanks to the presence of both Fantastic and Surge. Zabu is a fine Surge replacement. Yes, you are only running 2 4s, but the upside of getting one of those early is real. If you don't like Zabu there, I understand. Please feel free to try Forge. He should be perfectly good too. Human Torch here can be Cassandra, Nova, or Sebastian Shaw. Those are high series cards, but you are trying to play a power card in that spot. Torch is the best power card. Cassandra is a good power card early. Shaw is a good power card late. Okay, so Fantastic is just amazing here. He's just an unbelievable Surfer card. Any card he buffs, he's given a Surfer buff to, right? Anything he makes cheaper, he lets you do silly things like play a 3 and a 2 on turn 4 or a 3 and a 3 on turn 5, which really make this deck sing and take off in very different ways. So Fantastic First Steps is a must for every Surfer deck from now on. Sam Wilson here has one real major use, I guess 2 real major uses. He makes sure that you get something behind Carter. He helps that Carter lane a lot. He can also give you your Human Torch buff, making sure that that location is filled. Sam had been cut from Surfer decks, but with Carter and Torch in them, he is now back to being a valuable member of the team. Surge is here largely to give you the 4s on 3, but in a pinch it does a lot of the same things that Mr. Fantastic does. Fantastic is generally better, but what Surge is better at is specifically getting a 4-drop on turn 3 in order to really compete. Brood and Captain Carter are your late game power spikes. Hitting them with Surfer is just triples that buff. Obviously, Galactic and Gwenpool buffs will likewise be tripled there, so that works well. Torch doubles the buff he gets, but the bigger he gets, the more that double matters. So being able to buff Human Torch is really good. He's an amazing play on 3 without any buffs, or you can play him after a Galactic Gwenpool with a Surfer to get a buff. Remember that if you play him on 3 and with nothing else happening and you end up playing Surfer, you just played a 12 power card that your opponent has to deal with. Shadow King, especially in Victoria Hand, is one of the main ways to deal with all the nonsense happening. Cosmo is the answer for that. This is a very Cosmo meta, and what we are using this for is to answer a lot of those problems. Juggernaut with Cosmo also answer a lot of combo problems, because you can Juggernaut a card into Cosmo in order to make sure it's not going to be a problem for you, in order to prevent it from stopping your actions, or in order to prevent it from stopping the stuff you're doing. Luna is your other ramp card along with Surge and Mr. Fantastic. Luna is not letting you ramp into Galactic or Gwenpool, but what Luna is doing is letting you go 3+2 on turn 4 and then 3+3 on turn 5. And when you get that kind of ramp in this deck, that's really great. Plus, having the 3/6 is amazing. It can help you fill up a lane for that Surfer double. It can also get you a card behind Carter at the end of the game in a very effective way. From there, we're going to go Galactic and Gwenpool, which are just our simple buff cards. They make obviously Brood, Carter, and Torch better, but generally you're perfectly happy to buff absolutely anything else as well. This deck is currently ranked 16 on the Infinite leaderboard in the whole world globally. Burrs often ends up in the top 10. He plays a lot of experimental stuff, chilling around the top 50, and then the last week or so of the season grinds with really good decks to get to the top, but he just thinks Surfer is so good right now that it's hard not to play. I know our friend Ika agrees Surfer's in an amazing place. Turn 1 you pass, turn 2 Surge is better. Surge equals Fantastic. If you have your 4s in hand, play Fantastic. If you have your buff targets in hand, play Fantastic. If not, Surge can get you that early Galactic Gwenpool. Those are generally better than Sam. Sam is good, but he's not as good as the other 2. Turn 3 we're going Gwenpool or Galactic. Depends on your hand which you choose, over Torch or the Luna. If you want to go 3+2 on 4, you can move Luna over Torch, but choose wisely. Turn 4, we've got Gwenpool or Galactic over 3+2, and that's again Torch on 2 after Luna, or we can play one of the later game 3s here. Turn 5, we're going a 2 or 3 with Luna, plus Brood, Carter, Juggernaut, or Cosmo. You're choosing which of those. You can also use a buffed Torch here if it was hit by a Galactor or is going to be hit by a, if it's going to be hit by a Galactor or was hit by a Gwenpool. Turn 6, you're going Surfer and one of the threes from turn 5, and at that point, you've just put out a crazy amount of power in completely unpredictable lanes. That's the real beauty here. You scale far bigger than it looks like you can with Carter and Torch, and you have cards like Brew and Juggernaut to subtly win lanes that didn't look like they were even being contested. Surfer is the class of the Marvel Snap meta. This is the S tier deck of the game that I think everything is currently reacting to. Keep it in mind, keep it in your heart, but also keep watching the video. Hit that sub button, like, and comment if you're willing to. We're doing our very best to bring you a Marvel Snap video every single day. I literally moved around the world this week and we missed 0 days of videos. We will have a video for you every day. If you love Marvel Snap and want the newest and best decks, hit that sub button. We are also giving away 5 Mr. Fantastic First Steps. We are giving away 5 Mr. Fantastic First Steps on this video. I'm announcing the 5 winners this video in the question of the day section. If you'd like to enter to win our next giveaway of Mr. Fantastic, we'll be giving away one, I believe, on tomorrow's video, and then we'll be giving away another one next week. Sub, like, and leave a comment. Just that simple. I'll tell you what comment to leave later this video. Alright, C5 of these. This is the deck I hit infinite with. This is my infinite deck this season. It was created by Crazy, and this puts up an absurd, utterly absurd amount of points, going to well above 30 in multiple lanes in order to shut down opponents. You can find Crazy at twitch.tv/crazy_IM. He is a brilliant player, former multiple-time #1 player on the infinite leaderboard, just excellent top-notch player. The only 2 high series cards you need for this list are the Ancient One and Ms. Marvel. If you have those 2, you're good to go. We'll talk about why when we get to the card by card. Scarlet Spider can be Ghost or Wave. Alright, so Zabu and Luke Cage are your Cerebro are your non-5s in the list, so let's talk about them first. Zabu, you are running 3 4-drops. If you're running 3 4-drops, getting 1 out on turn 3 is really useful. Being able to play 1 at the end of the game with Cerebro is really useful. Obviously, that's less important with Scarlet Spider, who you can't activate on the last turn, but for absolutely everything else, you're very happy for it, so Zabu is in the deck. Luke Cage, there's just too many locations that mess you up if you don't have Luke. You are not running any location changes of your own, but the big caveat there is you can win perfectly fine with this deck without Cerebro. We'll talk about how momentarily, but Luke, make sure that your Cerebro gameplay goes off without a hitch. And then, of course, Cerebro with the +3 buff. Your goal, the most important card in the deck is not Cerebro, it's actually Ancient One, because you can use Ancient One to triple Cerebro, +9 to every card. 9 + 5 is 14. 2 of those cards is 28. That is enough to win most lanes in Marvel Snap, especially when you can count cards like Doom, which is then going to be playing for 42 power or something stupid along those lines. Captain Marvel, who can move to the right place. So Ancient One being amazing for that wins. The other thing the Ancient One does is it triples Ms. Marvel for a sudden extra 15 power in a side lane. So like you need Ancient One for those 2 cards in particular. And a lot of the rest of the deck is making sure we have those cards in those lanes. So we have a Rhino, which is an immediate trigger for those 2 cards. Rhino also helps protect your Cerebro against Red Guardian, as the case may be. The only danger with Rhino is Rhino and Silk can sometimes end up in the same location, which can be a frustration. You're going to have to try and be a little careful with your Silk. I tend to try and play it late. Silken is an amazing thing to Ancient One, as is Titania. You hit either one of those with Ancient One, and you should be with the Dao Mandala, and then they no longer have their ability. They're instead copies of Cerebro. Silk, however, in games where you don't have Rhino or games where you can fill Rhino's lane, not hard since there's only 2 empty spots, ends up just being really great power. Titania has 2 uses. A, you just often have an extra energy on the last turn. You can throw a crowd because you're not putting out that much power early. You just have a random extra 8 to 11 power card, right? You're just sitting there with an 11 to 14 power card. So you're perfectly happy to have that card in the game. It can help you get your cheap Ms. Marvel trigger. But there's also a lot of Cerebro in this meta, and Titania is just an auto counter to Cerebro. You play it on the last turn, you make sure that they have the Titania. Titania eats all the buffs, and any other Cerebro deck will not have the power to beat you at that point. We talked about Ancient One already. Captain Marvel is just you win, right? If Captain Marvel costs 11, it's a you win button. There's nothing more complicated than that. Ms. Marvel we've talked about. Scarlet Spider here is my least played card in the deck. I had it, it was fine, but I didn't play it often. Just again, an 11 to 14 power, you're getting 28 power out of this one card. It's really amazing if you get the Cerebro combo. You can also trigger the Scarlet Spider and then use the Dao Mandala on the Cerebro in that lane, making sure that you get the extra, turning that Scarlet Spider into that 14 power, and then it's also Cerebro. Sarah lets you do some combo stuff at the end of the game. Sarah's really good here, but not often a requirement. Sometimes you sort of miss your early plays, and Sarah lets you sort of go off late, playing a one-cost Amandala, a one-cost Cerebro, a one-cost Silk, a one-cost Rhino, all that stuff works. Or you can just cold drop a Doctor Doom. Feel free to just drop a Doom for a crazy power last turn. Either one of those works fine. Sometimes you're just gonna you'll draw Cerebro late, right? And you're not gonna be able to do them. But you can play if you had Sarah a 2-cost Cerebro, and if you got lucky with Zabu, a 2-cost Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel, and then you can play the Dow and just do plenty of damage that way. You do have to be very careful with the Dow Mandala. You have the extra ongoing of Luke Cage, so you want to be careful with your Luke Cage and your Sarah to make sure that you don't accidentally copy those. But outside of that, this is an insanely strong deck. You're putting up more points than almost anything using your Cerebro and Ms. Marvel in combination with the Ancient One. So you're choosing, again, either one of those two. If the locations don't work for you, people are going to snap you when they think you're C5. If you can add, if Ms. Marvel plays for a 5, that is also adding 15 to each lane, so that's a 35, right? So if she does that, you can usually win that game of Marvel Snap Friends. This is a ton of power. Right now, this is one of the top decks at high infinite as well. So it's not just a deck to hit infinite with, it's a deck you can climb with. This one has a 72% win rate in 83 games at the top 10% of infinite. I also obviously hit infinite with it. I had a 59% win rate. I played it exclusively in the 90s. The day before I moved, if for anyone who's new here, for anyone who doesn't know, I moved to Vietnam. This past week, I left home Tuesday. I arrived Thursday. I've created a new home here. This is where I'm recording from. So if you're, we didn't miss any videos, so if you've been here and you didn't know that, I understand. But yeah, I moved around the world. The day before I left, literally the day before I left, I was like, I have like 2 hours. I just need to play something. I saw this deck from Crazy. I was like, I'm just going to give it a try. And I immediately cruised to Infinite with a really great win in cube rate. So turn 1, Zabu. Turn 2, Rhino over Silk. You want to try and save Silk for later if humanly possible. Turn 3, Ancient One over Luke. Oh, sorry. One of the reasons you'll save Silk is because there's a common location. The -4 when a card moves there is a common location. And if you don't have Luke, you really want to be careful with Silk. So turn 3, Ancient One over Luke. Turn 4, Ms. Marvel, and you can snap on Ms. Marvel if you have Ancient One or you think you can get it going. Over Scarlet over Captain Marvel. Turn 5, we're going Sarah over 3, and that 3 should be Bro +2. And then we can do turn 6, Doom or Cerebro Titania and Damandala type shenanigans. And you just put out, again, absolutely stupid points in multiple lanes with this list. Again, adding a sudden 15 to both sides lanes on the last turn is a game winner, as is suddenly adding, 9 power to a bunch of your cards, right? Like, that's just crazy power. This is a monster of a list. If you're struggling to hit infinite or struggling to climb, I cannot urge you to play this enough. You are vulnerable to Enchantress, but Enchantress has not seemed like a major meta force. Play it, go forth, conquer. Before we go forward, I should be live. I'm hoping to be live either 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. in the next day, so please check it out, twitch.tv/PulseBlazer. Check, I might be live as this video goes live, so that'd be really cool. I'm going to do my best to try and make weekends the days I go live at 8 p.m. and then weekdays I'll be live at about 8 to 9 a.m. in that general vicinity. That is the plan for the schedule going forward if you're interested. All right, next up we've got Dark Razors. F you, bro. Dark Razor was the #1 player on the Infinite Leaderboard last season. He's 15 years old, a ridiculously good Marvel Snap player. He took this list. There's a lot of versions of this around. If you check last week, I don't remember exactly what day. Again, it's been a bit of a mess lately. If you check last week, our friend Sizer has another version of this. I really like Dark Razor's version because Dark Razor's version feeds on a lot of the Cerebro in the meta, and it can give the Surfer in the meta a lot of extra trouble in the way the previous version cannot. This one seems to be better and more finely tuned, built for what we're currently seeing around right now. You can find Dark Razor at twitch.tv/DRK_RAZR. He's streaming all the time. It's his summer vacation, so he seems to have been having a blast of it. This needs Cannonball, Annihilus, Werewolf, Merlin, and Laufey. I kept trying to figure out what can replace Laufey, but I don't think anything can. So Yellow Jacket and Laufey are absolutely amazing here. You can use Yellow Jacket specifically to send over some of your debris rocks, which is an incredibly powerful thing to do. Laufey can do that as well. Outside of that, you can use either card to move Werewolf. You can use Yellow Jacket in particular is a nice cheap way to move Werewolf. You can turn it into a 1 or shuffle it into your deck for some extra stuff with Merlin. It's just a ridiculously good combo card here. The Hood is something you send over with Viper, Annihilus, or deal with Merlin, but getting access to the Demon when your last turn is fairly often going to be Annihilus or Cannonball is worth running as well. Works as a claw card, works as a power card at the end. Surfer is everywhere that's not Cerebro is running Surfer. This deck should have very little trouble with Cerebro because Viper is an amazingly hard Cerebro counter, but we also have Shadow King, wherein If your opponent's playing Surfer, you drop a Shadow King. You should be able to steal a lane that way and steal another lane by clogging them. Merlin gets rid of all your negative cards on your side of the board in a really effective way, much like a Nihilus, while also giving you some extra control over the board. Merlin is almost becoming underrated right now because Mr. Fantastic is the best card in the game. Green, green, green Goblin is amazing. It is your clog a single location card. It was just buffed to a 3 -4. If you haven't, we're releasing the Snap Judgments podcast relatively soon, where we'll be talking about that OTA if you're so inclined in some long thoughts. But this is a very, very big buff to Green Goblin. Debris is, because the buff fundamentally works double, right? So it's not only it takes away one of their spaces while giving them negative, so it ends up playing for more than it is. Debris clogs the whole board. It moves around Werewolf. It's another card you can send over with Viper. If you use Yellow Jacket or Laufey, another card you can send over with a Nihilus. It's really great. Laufey is often huge in this, thanks to Debris and Green Goblin. If you manage to Green Goblin, Viper something, or they're playing a lane and you've got a few things, Laufey just feels like backbreaking. And again, it gives you extra stuff to send over with Annie. Sentry, 4/9, that's strong proof that you can send over a -9 or turn into a 5-drop, as the case may be, is amazing. Just an insanely powerful card right now. Annihilus is obviously the card that sends everything over, and then because you have Clog, Cannonball often wins you a lane. This one is a 59% win rate in 550 games, which is insanely high, and a rank 4. Turn 1 Hood, turn 2 Merlin. You don't really want to play anything else, right? You're holding your Yellow Jacket, you're holding your Shadow King, so turn 1 Hood, turn 2 Merlin. If you don't have Merlin, you have Hood on turn 2, play that. Turn 3, we generally want a Werewolf. We can also play Debris or Goblin if we think Clog is going to be more effective. Turn 4, Sentry, and Sentry, if we know we can turn it into a 5-drop, if we know we can send it over, is going to be a snap condition. We can also go Debris or Goblin. We can go Laufey if a Clog card. We could end up playing a Viper around 3 or 4 also. Viper, by the way, if you are playing a Cerebro, once you know what Cerebro you're playing, if you're playing a Cerebro 4, right, send over a Demon. If you're playing a Cerebro 2, send over a freaking Merlin. Who cares? Send over a Debris. As long as you can do that, Viper gives you an auto win into that matchup. So, turn 5, we're going Annie or Laufey +1. There's also the occasional Viper plus like extra shenanigans due to Merlin, but Annie or Laufey +1. And then turn 6, we're going Cannonball if they're clogged, or we can play Annie and a 1, or or like a Laufey and a 2, as the case may be. And at any rate, this deck just puts up a ton of points. It messes with opponents. This is one of the better things that you can be doing right now into the current metagame. If you just saw those last 2 decks and were like, oh my god, what do I do? This deck is the answer to that. This is what you do. You should be able to take out opponents as a general rule. With this deck, it is immensely frustrating to play against. Our Season Pass winners are Kelton and Bernhard, Incendium Ice, Wicked Sharp 23, A Enriquez 1475, and J Led Snap. Please do reach out and so I can give you your Mr. Fantastic Season Pass, which in this case is like a $10 Apple or Amazon gift card, because I don't there's no way to gift in Marvel Snap right now, so that's fun. All right, so are you ready is the simple question you're going to answer in order to win a season pass. You can take that however you want. What I'd like you to be ready for, although you don't have to answer, is checking out youtube.com/@pulseglazer. There's nothing there but some old Pokemon Pocket content, but what will be there is my vlog of my move to Vietnam and all my experiences here. So if you're interested in that, if you're a regular viewer, please check that out. I've got a lot to say, a lot of videos to make there. If you are noticing, I'm supposed to have a new mic and a new webcam for my move. I have the webcam. Look, it's literally right here. But somewhere along the move, the screw thing is missing to get it actually attached to the damn computer. So I have to get that settled before I can actually record those videos. And there's one bag, it's somewhere hidden behind me, I'm not going to actually go get it. There's one bag with which we cannot open the lock, which is naturally the bag that has my new mic and mic stand in it. So I will get that settled as soon as humanly possible and get those videos up. Please, if you are a fan, if you are willing to support, if you're willing to help out, youtube.com/@pulseglazer. In addition, I will be streaming at twitch.tv/pulseglazer. It's crazy. It's like we're branding some stuff here, right? All right, our last deck of the day is one that I know a lot of people will enjoy, and I know I'm also going to get yelled at by a lot of other people. This is a deck that, what? I don't know what that was. Sorry, I got a weird work email from okay. So this is Unfit Parrots Dr. Doom 2099 list. I know a lot of people really like Doom 2099. I know a lot of people are going to throw a fit because it's a fantastic card list. Look, Mr. Fantastic for steps, Doom 2099, Makari. Those are your only Fantastic card hits. You don't need Fantastic Power for this list. But Doom 2099 is in a very good spot, and thus this is a really cool list, and one that we're going to want to keep an eye on because we're about to get more and more Fantastic. We're about to get more and more end turn cards. I would not, straight up, hate running Human Torch first steps in this list, for example, because I have Doom, and Sam Shield in order to and Makari in order to fill a location at that Fantastic Card buff. That is going to get better the further we go. It's easy for me to imagine this deck being a good thing for steps home as well. Although I don't know if I cut Claw, so maybe not. But there's something here. We're starting to cook. You can find Parrot at youtube.com/@unfitparrot. He's also on Twitch at the same name. Wonderful, kind person that you should definitely check out. This deck needs Doom 2099, Sam Wilson, Makari, and Galacta. Mr. Fantastic can be Surge. I think it might actually want to be Surge. I really didn't like not having Surge when I tried this out. Fantasticar can be Gwenpool, but again, Fantasticar will be better around the end of the season, around when Invisible Wound for Steps comes out, which is another card that really loves Doom 2099. So we are going to want to get Fantasticar for this list. You can, however, wait for it to be in Series 4, because once Invisible Woman comes out, then there's only a week before this is just a Series 4 card that you can get for free. I don't know for sure, but I think that Second Dinner might be hearing us. I think Second Dinner might be hearing us. I'm phrasing this carefully on purpose about the concern of the Series 4 card in the season pass. Although, given lead time, I'm not sure if we'll actually see a resolution to this kind of thing for the next several months. I.e., I wouldn't expect this to change anytime soon over the next 2-3 months, but I do think that there's a possibility this changes down the line. Rocket Groot can be speed. It can be fantastic. Human Torch for steps. Pick a good, powerful 3-drop. All right, so we got Zabu. Zabu is here to get your Galacta or Doom out early. We'll play a Fantastica early, but that's not actually important here. We're trying to get Doom or Doom or Galacta out early. That's incredibly strong. Fantastic also lets you get out cards early, but the buff on Mr. Fantastic is really great. You actually don't care all that much or as much about the negative cost unless it's hitting like your Claw on 4 type thing or Doom on 5 after you play 2099. Outside of that, you're perfectly fine just taking the buff and saying I have more power than you think. Sam and Craven are just an early power play. They help you fill lanes. Filling lanes is generally good. It helps you direct your Doom 2099 while also giving your Craven a little bit of a buff. Rocket, we've just got an extra move, a little bit of extra control over where opponents play cards. Just a powerful card that people have forgotten about. Makari is a free card, and free cards are good because you can only play 1 card a turn after Doom. It's also a card that you can buff with Fantastic card. Doom is the 3rd card along with First Steps and Makari that you can buff with the Fantastic card. Making it a 4/6 is really, really solid. Just straight up, it's really, really solid. And of course, just getting a Doom bot out on turn 4, 5, and 6 is now going to be +3 to a bunch of different cards. Really strong stuff. Galacta is your only real hope of winning without Doom. It is your regular buff. If you go like Captain America into Craven into Galacta, you can still pull off some games with like Claw or Sandman and Doom, and you should be reasonably effective, although it's harder at that point. Fantastic card, decent buff. We like buffing cards in Doom 2099 decks, not because buffs are so inherently broken or anything, but because we can only play 1 card, so making them count for more counts for a lot. Hence the Claw. Claw does the same basic thing. I do miss I lost her name. I do miss Spectrum here. I really do, but we're just not running enough ongoings. Fantastic are sort of our backup Spectrum. Claw is this amazingly powerful card. Sometimes, especially if you're playing at the top of the leaderboard, people will play around your Doom at the end of the game, but lose to your Claw at the end of the game. Sandman is amazing. You should know if you're playing against an opponent's deck that Sandman just beats. Sandman is brutal against Surfer right now. If you're worried about Surfer beating you, Surfer does not run Mobius usually, and Surfer does not like when their 3 suddenly costs 4 on the last turn. You get a lot of wins that way. Sandman is just amazing. A 5/8 is a lot of power. And of course, Doom 2099 gives you 3 cards that are buffed by. Sorry, Dr. Doom gives you 3 cards that are buffed by Doom 2099. And hey, Fantastic Four season, baby. Happy to see Doom back in 2 of our decks today. So 10-4, 71% win rate, which isn't a huge sample, but hey, it's Doom 2099. It's the last deck of the video, and I've got a million decks to show you, so I wanted to make sure we got this one out there, because I know there's a lot of Doom 2099 viewers in my viewers. Doom 2099 enjoyers viewers, I know how to speak. Turn 1, Zabu. Turn 2, Fantastic over Sam over Craven. Turn 3, we're going to Doom 2099 over Galacta over Fantasticar over Rocket and Groot or Craven if Sam. Turn 4, 2099, and we should have a decent idea of power output. We can snap there. Over Galacta over Car. Turn 5, Salmon or Claw. And turn 6, Doom or Claw. And at some point, if we played the Car, we could trigger it. Props to Parrot, bringing back a deck and a card that everyone forgot. They buffed it. I think Parrot's the only person I saw even test it after buff. I think it's fairly decent. I think the Doombot should probably get back a little power. It's kind of lame that they're this weak, but at least they are still keeping this card in mind. It's a card that really should have some home in the meta, given how popular it was for quite a while. Come check out our friends on the stream team, streaming a whole bunch. I believe as this goes live, it is Saturday, so check out Father Newman, who should be live right after me, right after you watch this video. Check out patreon.com/snapjudgments as well. We could actually use some extra support. Obviously, big move and tons of new content stuff happening. So please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments if you are so inclined and willing to support the channel. Our patrons on the $10 tier are Jonesy Snap 22, our patron of the month, Abigail Gieslin, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc. I am Frostman, Hota Neverete, how did Frosty get there? Hota Neverete, Prime Brian, Reinberg, Renwood, Snap Renridge, Guilford Keb, Keltor, 33, Caretakes Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyro, Perforos, The Goat Seeker, Code, Hallowed, Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Philip Rackwich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Biza, Black Phoebus 23, XRSV and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, what's up Jess, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kev, Sihoda, Glam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V, Corey Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh. Woo! Cute Town, Yes Stout, 8th Sage, One Big Man, Mookman for Reels, Cactus is Cactus Jack, Reapser, Steve O, 131, Yo Marco, Ted Bro, Quid Bro Joe, Snap to Scissors Joe, Bickety Boom Bop, Bricks 2 Click, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, Flan 56, Spectrum Mix. Woo! It's Aku. No, Aku's gone. Sorry, Aku. Much love. You should reply to me, though. Shoot me a message, Aku. Only Fox. Woo! Matt H, DJ, Mike Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick, The Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, Zatric 74, The King of Canada, JJ, Deadman Falcon, Foxthorn Newman, Two Ties, The Great Mardez, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for. That's it for today's video. Thanks for the love and support, guys. Hopefully I'll see you on stream relatively soon. See you later. Peace.